Ding.
Insert intro here.
I'm Lenator, and I really like the Awesome Crew Show.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Cliff, we wanted to do your intro, but we lost it. We don't know where it is. Cliff Jumper made an intro for us. It was really, really good, and we were trying to run it, but we couldn't find it, and then we couldn't get a hold of you. So just get back in touch with us so that, you know, that A, let us know you're fucking alive, and B, let us get your intro back.
Here, hold on.
Maybe Jason Burns found him and beat him up.
All right, hold on. This episode of the Awesome Crew Show is brought to you in part by Meteos. Meteos, now with more fist. And Canadian.
That's the best line. Now with more fist. I love it.
All right. I've been sitting on my desk for like 3 months.
Now with more fist.
Holy crap. So, gentlemen, how are you guys doing? It's been a sort of eventful-ish week. I'm sorry I did not make it last week, which is why the show sucked. Last week was actually... It's the lowest rated show ever, and I watched the first 2 minutes of it, and Lenny was just like, oh, the captain would never do that.
That's true.
So...
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We did miss your opinion on that topic because we didn't have any really good people to come in to take the position you would have taken.
Well, you know what? I'm for gun control. Don't get me wrong. I am for some sort of legislation and what's the word? Some sort of control. I mean, it needs to be regulated, yes, but to outright say that people can't own guns because people use guns to do bad things. I mean, it's kind of silly. People will always do bad things with whatever they have available. I mean, but
are we opening up this can of worms right now? Is this happening?
Oh man, we could if you want for a few minutes. Now that I'm here,
I would be interested in just hearing his unadulterated piece because we had well over an hour to air our opinions.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
Okay, so. Do I think that any Joe Schmo should own like a military-grade automatic weapon? No. Do I think people shouldn't own a handgun, just like a semi-automatic or just a single shot? I have no problem with that. I mean, you could do. People don't need a full military-grade weapon. I mean, it's military-grade for a reason, not for home defense. My whole stance is if someone is trying to break into your home to cause any sort of harm, you are well within your rights and capabilities to defend yourself and your family and your livelihood with whatever means possible. Now, yes, people do take advantage of that. There are people who would just love to shoot first, ask questions later, but I'm not that type of... Yeah, but I mean, I'm not that type of person, but just because there's a few people that are like that out there, I mean... It's one of those things where if I'm a crook and I'm breaking into a stranger's home, I'm kind of waiving my right because I don't know what I'm getting myself into. And if there happens to be like a MG42 pillbox behind the door with God knows what sort of weapons, then that's sort of on me. Now, do I think that this person this homeowner should go around and just wave guns out in the street? No, that's not a good thing. But I mean, yeah, that's about it. I personally own about 20 guns. I have an M4. I have an AK-47. But again, they're the public grade, so it's nothing full auto. It's the castrated versions. So I'm not going to sit there and just like mow down anybody. But I mean, I guess I'm responsible about it, and I think if there's proper education about guns, because in the household that I grew up with, both when I was with my father had guns, he had a crossbow, and he taught me at a very early age how to handle guns, how to respect guns, and my stepfather was a cop, so he taught me at an early age, hey, this is a gun, this can kill people, you have to respect this and not be an idiot about it. So. I don't know. That's just how I grew up. So I have no issue with people owning a gun. However, when it comes to like military grade, yeah, that's not that shouldn't be within the rights of a civilian to own a military-grade weapon. If that makes any sense. I'm done rambling. I have a horrible headache, and I'm trying to drink my coffee.
Okay. Well, you've said your piece. That's all our other show needed last week was that.
Yeah. I mean, now as far as like the purchasing of a gun, I do believe that it's written in our Constitution that anyone has the right to bear arms. So, however, I don't think anyone should have not everyone should have the right to bear arms if they show signs of like mental illness or some sort of complex, and yeah, then it should be bunkered down a little bit. But if there's someone who has no sign of mental illness and they turn around and purchase guns and then turn around and shoot up a place or something, then there really isn't much we can do about that, unless they showed some signs in the past. But I mean that'd be the only clause that I would throw into the mix. I mean, obviously, if you're like a convicted felon or whatever, it's a lot harder to go out and purchase a gun. But I mean, it's one of those things. There's going to be a loophole for any situation, really.
What would you say I mean, not to get too deep in the rabbit hole here, but what would you say to my position, which is that, like, especially with the situation with a second-degree murder, a murder 2, where a cat just comes home from work, he finds his wife at home in bed with the mailman, and he then reaches for his gun. You know what I mean? This is probably a morally normal individual.
Yeah.
With someone who's perfectly able to purchase a gun quite legally,
yeah.
But because he's in a very unique situation, a very emotionally trying situation, he reaches for it and does something remarkably stupid. Are you comfortable with people having that kind of power in their home, on hand, just kill another human being very quickly?
Well, let's just say that there wasn't a gun in the home. He could turn around and grab a kitchen knife and do the same thing. I mean, if someone is that devastated, is it justified? No, it might be justified in their own head, but as far as the law is concerned, there's no justification to turn around and be like, oh, I'm angry at my wife and mailman, therefore I'm going to kill them. They don't have any grounds. But let's say that guy and wife are in bed and mailman is a psychopath and decides to break into their house, do harm, then yeah, it would be within that individual's right to protect himself. But to turn around and say that the gun is what's inevitably responsible for this person's actions is, kind of, it's not exactly accurate, because, I mean, he can bludgeon the guy. He could take a whatever blunt object and just start beating the shit out of this guy. Right. It's not going to stop him from doing harm. I mean, the device might be different, but it's not the device that's doing the killing. It's the person. And if a person is that emotionally distressed, gun or not, I think that their intention to do harm will be executed with whatever means necessary.
I agree. The only problem I have with that is that when you rate things by their level of lethality and by their purpose, right? I mean, a knife is a multi-purpose. It's a tool more than anything else. A gun is just a weapon, and that's all it can ever be. And it's many times more lethal than a knife is.
It depends. I have a pretty big, scary machete down in the garage. I might beg to differ. If I were to choose if I were to choose between being shot, let's say by like a 9mm round at moderate distance versus being stabbed with my machete downstairs, I'd take the gun. You can do.
You'd rather be shot?
I'd rather be shot than be fucking filleted by. Some of my knives that I have. I have some very scary knives.
I mean, I guess the difference is that, like, there's the big thing is that my point is that it's harder to kill someone with a knife than it is with a gun.
No, it really.
You don't think it's harder to kill someone with a knife?
No. Not if you know your anatomy. It is.
Yeah, if let's say. There's a lot of things that factor in. It depends on the round. It depends on the distance. I mean, it depends on what you're wearing. The person's wearing. It all depends. And yeah, there are those people that do get that lucky shot, like the whole Trayvon Martin thing. That was a lucky shot. He got.
Well, I don't think it was luck. He was on top of him, but he just pulled his gun out and plugged him. Like, they were on top of each other.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of different things. Same thing with a knife. I mean, it depends on the type of knife, where you strike. I mean, you can be shot, let's say, in the neck and live through it. I knew a girl who actually got shot in the neck and her cheek, and she turned out to be just fine. Now, if I were to come out here with a machete and start hacking at the neck, I do a lot more damage with my machete, on someone's neck than just a single gunshot wound. Easily,
Well,
easily. With a good swing, you could almost decapitate someone with that.
maybe if you cite the fact that, like, okay, if we take a look at what the mass shootings in this country have been over the last 10 years, the amount of lives lost, the amount of damage done, and more importantly, I think this is the key factor, is the amount of time it took to do that level of damage, which is almost no time at all, matter of minutes.
Oh, that's true. Absolutely.
And if you take a look at the situation in China, where about 30 people were stabbed in one incident by one person, none of those people died. I think that's pretty solid evidence to the fact that it's harder to kill someone with a knife than it is with a gun.
Well, it depends on the situation. Yeah, I mean, it depends on who's wielding the knife. But I mean, I am for gun. Like, no one needs to have one of those like super high capacity rounds. My whole thinking is, if you can't make your point in 2 shots, you shouldn't. You need to go back to the range. I mean, that's how I look at things. If you for people to own those high capacity magazines of, like, 50 rounds, whatever, the 50 round magazine clips for, like, the AK-47 or the M4 or the M16, people don't need that, especially with a single fire.
And this is all just as a side note, all to point out that knives have a 0 level of collateral damage, where guns have a massive potential level of collateral damage.
Oh, absolutely.
They also have a really high saving throw.
Yes, they do. In your most of your gang situations and gang shootings and stuff like that, it's actually innocent bystanders who get hit the most, because the people who are shooting don't know how to shoot.
They're doing this shit.
Shot, and you can't do that with a knife.
No, if any of you guys have seen Kick-Ass 2, the scene that I love the most was when motherfucker goes in and he's trying to rob the convenience store and he's holding the gun like this, and the old guy comes in and says, "You're gonna put your eye out if you don't hold that gun properly," and the guy's and motherfucker's all, "Fuck you," and he shoots himself and it knocks him back in the head. I mean, that's funny because people try to showboat and do all this crap, and yeah, most of the time it is the innocent people who get killed in the process and not their actual designated target. But again, people like that, I should not own weapons, but I mean, yes, there needs to be control when it comes to that sort of thing. Absolutely. But does that mean that...
Beaver stance.
Yeah, I mean, I shoot lefties, so, I'm sitting down right now, but, here's my typical, hold the gun. You have to be relaxed at the elbow. You have to absorb with your shoulders, and, I mean, there's a little bit of finesse to it. But it's one of those things where just because you have a few bad apples doesn't mean that it should ruin it for those who are responsible. And there should be... There should be.
Point, though. I don't think that anyone is responsible enough to hold a weapon like that. It's too much responsibility.
Well, I've owned guns my entire life. I'm not going around killing people, nor do I have the intention of going around killing people. I have a lot of...
Until you decide to.
Yeah, but see, I'm not. I mean, you could say that about anybody. You can go
that's exactly my point. You could say that about anybody. You could say that about anybody. I mean, and that's why nobody should have a gun.
And who's to say that you can't go and take a kitchen knife and just decide to go and do something, just as bad?
I'm not suggesting you can't, but what I am saying is that, and I was just reminded of this on Facebook, thank you to the person who did that, there's the issue of intimate distance, you know what I mean? It's harder emotionally, I would say, to kill someone with a knife because you have to be literally on the person to do it, and you have to be there with them when you attack them, whereas with a gun you can do it from a distance, and it's almost like using a machine. Using a machine, you separate yourself from the incident, right? You're saying to yourself, I'm not doing it, the gun is, but with a knife, you have to say that you're doing it, and you have to reconcile yourself with that.
I don't really buy into that. I mean, either way, if you're setting out with the intent on killing someone, you can try to rationalize it in your head all you want as, oh, either the knife is killing or the gun is killing. But, I mean, I guess that goes into the phrase, guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Sure, I agree with that, but I mean, surely you have to see that there's just the disconnect, like, you know what I mean?
I mean, if there's a minority of people who think it'd be easier to shoot than stab, well, it would seem easier, but I mean, there have been plenty of victims of gunshots who have survived. I mean, if someone really wanted to do the job, I mean, if it were, I don't know, I like knives. I mean, personally, so I mean, I don't know.
Look
But
at us disagreeing.
I know. Fuck. You guys suck.
God, I hate you
You guys
so.
suck so bad. But I mean, if let's say someone wants to go in and buy, and I know that you can buy special licenses to have these, and depending on what kind of job you have, but um, it, I don't think, again, if it's military grade, a civilian has no right to own anything military grade, because I mean, they do more damage, obviously, but you know, as far as owning like a handgun or a shotgun or whatever. You know, if people go and they got a clean record or whatever, then you know it's well within their right to own. Does that mean that they're not going to eventually turn around and snap? No, but I mean you can see times where people have snapped and they've bludgeoned people, they've stabbed people. I mean they've run people over
Oh
with
yeah,
their
no.
car.
That's
So
not what I'm arguing. What I'm arguing is that it's so much easier to kill someone with a gun, emotionally and ability-wise.
I'd say it'd be easier to kill
It's
someone with a
so
car. Or
it's
just
it's
me.
it's it's so much easier to kill someone that way that like we can't remove the lethality from society. Like we can't remove lethal weapons from society. We just can't. But this one is so lethal and it could do so much damage in such a small amount of time that I don't think anyone has the moral responsibility to own one. I don't think anyone. I really can't imagine anyone on planet Earth who has the moral responsibility to own that kind of weapon.
Well,
To just reduce someone's life to point and click like that.
well, okay. So who's the one with the sword? Was it you, Lenny?
The sword.
Yeah.
Me.
Okay.
I have
So
a hand and a half bastard.
all right, yeah. So you got a bastard sword. That scares me more than the handgun because
Well,
bastard. I mean, bastard
yeah.
sword's nothing like this. So if so let me paint a picture here. Bobby, someone breaks into your home. They start going after your son, who is disabled. He has no way of defending himself, and you grab your sword. What do you do?
Well, because this is a mobile home without a lot of room to actually get a swing, it's more of a 3-foot stabbing distance.
All right.
But yeah, but still, I don't have to get nowhere near as close, and I'm going to rip some shit apart with that fucker.
All right. So
You would not survive. You would be impaled, and you would not likely survive a torso shot with that.
okay, and you know what? You are well within your right to defend yourself against someone who has the intention of doing harm to you and your family. And especially if your son has no way of protecting himself. Now, let's say that I'm in my position. I'm sitting here on my couch, and someone breaks into my house, and they try to, you know, I have all my collectibles here. I display with no hesitation in the world. Someone comes in and means to do harm to me and my family and rob me. The only difference is I have a gun. You know, I will protect myself in the same way Bobby will, but with a different device. It's the same thing. It's the same outcome in the end. Mine might be a little bit cleaner versus just impaling with a
Well,
bastard sword.
I don't know about that. Have you ever seen somebody actually shot? It gets pretty freaking messy.
It depends on where they're shot. I mean, if you strike an artery or something, then yeah, it can get kind of gooey. It depends on the caliber.
Why
But
does defending yourself necessarily include needing a gun or potentially killing someone? Why is it okay to say I can murder someone as long as I'm defending myself? Why do those things have to go?
No. Here's the thing.
I'd like to take this, if I may.
No, go ahead.
Because a lot of times, if you have somebody in a home invasion type situation, now this is the hypothetical, and you don't use a weapon, you're just going to subdue them physically or just try to move out of the way, and their intent is to cause physical harm. Just beating somebody to death, you very well may not have the physical capability to beat them down and subdue them. They very well easily could be stronger, bigger, hyped out on some drugs, which, trust me, you get whacked on a few drugs, you are pretty much a walking tank.
Yeah.
You're going to need something with stopping power.
Now, Lenny, this entire time, I never once mentioned anything about murdering or killing anybody. I said defending. So if that means putting a bullet in their leg, just to slow them down, or maybe both legs, slow them down, or aim for a non-critical part of their body just to immobilize or incapacitate them. I never said anything about full-on killing anybody. I'm just talking about the means of defense right now.
Well, and again, the only rebuttal out after that is that a high percentage of people who own guns have no idea how to use them, and most gun deaths in situations are accidental gun deaths. I didn't mean to kill him; I was just trying to shoot him. And that's the problem. It's just too lethal for anyone to honestly say they're morally capable of using it. And this is leaving aside the fact that there are lots of awesome, fantastic things that you can do to prevent yourself from being a victim in the first place. And secondly, lots of completely non-lethal options to subdue somebody that you can buy and just have in your home. There's forms of mace, tasers, all kinds of things that just basically can't kill somebody, and if they do, it's a freak instance.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I own tasers and mace.
It doesn't need to be a gun. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. But can it be I have 2 tasers and a mace here also, and most of my guns are locked up in a safe, and when they're locked up in the safe, they're key locked. So, there is the responsible gun owner, and I'm sure, as much as I hate to say this, I'm sure Mr. Pillbox is a responsible gun owner. And that's
I don't
weird.
know if you gave Pillbox and responsible in the same sentence.
Yeah, that seemed weird after I said that.
It goes against the grain ever so slightly.
Yeah, but you know what? In the end of the day, there's no difference between what I'm doing and what Robert's doing, only with a different mechanism. I mean, potentially, if you don't know how to use a taser, you could put someone into cardiac arrest.
You can definitely put their eye out.
Yeah, I mean, you can do substantial harm with a taser.
But yeah, I mean, again, though, you're missing the point is that it's harder to kill someone with a taser than it is with a gun. You know what I mean? It's not a question of lethality. Again, we can't remove lethal items from the home. We just can't. There are too many. But this one is so lethal that it seems completely unneccery.
Actually, this headline I was just reading right here: Georgia man accidentally shoots his own penis while trying to holster gun. There's an argument in
you know what sucks is Glocks. I forget what model Glocks, but Glocks actually have the tendency how they're because it has a mechanism where you need to hold it a certain way in order to unlock the safety before you can fire. And some of them had the tendency of getting caught in people's holsters, so when someone would go to unholster their gun, the Glock would misfire. It was a weird design flaw. But yeah, accidents do happen. But you know what? I can show you the scar right here on my thumb where I accidentally stabbed myself trying to find out what time it was. And this, of all my injuries, this shit hurt the most, and I thought I sliced my thumb over. You can't really see. It's right there, right above my thumb. I had my knife, and I'll see if I can reenact this because it was funny. I was urban exploring, and I had my knife, and I wear my watch on my right hand. And my buddy's all, hey, what time is it? And I said, oh, let me check. And I went like this, or I was holding the knife like this, which is not how you should hold a knife. And I went like this to see what time it was. Holy shit, did that hurt.
That's great.
Holy crap. I thought I was bleeding so much. I had to take off my shirt and make a tourniquet. And here I am, like, underground somewhere. I didn't even know where I was. I was just underground in, like, some runoff tunnel. And we were about a mile away from my house, just crawling around.
Bear in mind that if the same accident had happened with a gun, he may not have kept his thumb.
No, it depends on the caliber. Again, it was a graze right here. But, I mean, I've stabbed myself plenty of times, and it sucks. It sucks being stabbed. But, again, it depends on the situation. Yes, accidents happen on all sides.
Oh, dear.
But, again, when it comes to, I know I've said this, but when it comes to making sure that background checks are more thorough, absolutely. There are people who should not own guns. I think the government should find a way to weed out those people. How, I don't know. But does that mean that it's going to work 100% of the time? No, nothing's perfect. Yes, can guns do potentially more damage? Absolutely. Absolutely agree with you. But, again, there needs to be a way to, sniff out those people. But then again, there are the crazy people. It doesn't matter how you can ban guns right now. People still find a way to own guns. And Yeah, go ahead.
Prohibition does not work. It doesn't matter what you're prohibiting, from alcohol to drugs to abortion to, yes, even guns. So
Yeah.
prohibition is not a good plan.
I can tell you from a country, coming from a country, and coming from a whole, basically a whole fucking continent, which is more or less prohibited guns across the board. We're getting along just fine. It's fine.
Oh,
Guys,
I'm sure.
Americans, it's going to be okay. It's good. Really, it's going to be fine. We've been doing it for like 3 decades. Don't worry, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
If you get rid of, if Obama comes and takes your guns away, everything will be okay.
You see, I like shooting. There's a great place in Vegas called the Gun Store, and you walk in and it's just wall-to-wall guns. It's just I could cut myself in my chin with my own dick because it was so fucking awesome. I mean, you can fire off like the M141, the 50 cal. That's a Hummer-mounted like fucking artillery cannon. The thing's like this big. I mean, like at least good 6 feet, and they can just prop it up, and you just sit there and just do. It's like $5 a round, mind you, but I mean, you can go and have fun with that shit. I mean, I fired off the Sumi, which is a great little submachine gun, M16, M4. They're sort of the same gun, and AK-47, which I love the AK. That shit rides up though. It's a fun gun to shoot. You really have to lean into that though. But I mean, it's fun. There is an enjoyment, just with, for me personally, for going and shooting guns. Does that mean I'm going to go and shoot people? Unless the Soviets come rolling up on my beach or something, or the terrorists take over, the alien invasion happens, and yeah, I'm not going to go around waving my guns in the street. It's something that my family and I always joke about. It's like, if there is, aliens in the street, or the Soviets come and knocking on our beachfront, then yeah, we might defend ourselves, but day to day, we're not going to do that. And plus,
but the issue with that is that, like, the Soviets aren't coming.
No, I know.
And if they do, they'll probably launch something from the nuclear submarines that they have permanently parked off the fucking Pacific coast.
Oh, of course.
And even if they did, and someone did decide to invade, there's a whole group of international organizations that are designed to protect free Western countries from this type of thing. Like, you know what I mean? If it comes to it, the American people aren't going to be the ones defending themselves.
No, but I think in the case they will. But again, that's just tongue-in-cheek humor there. I know the Soviets aren't going to come storming the beaches. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Other people use that as a legitimate argument. Like, they're like, well, what happens when the government turns rogue and takes over? What happens when X, Y, and Z tries to invade?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. You're absolutely right. Again, I was just using that as a tongue-in-cheek humor, as a way that my family jokes around about things. But there are also those crazy people that do legitimately think that. But are those crazy people running around shooting up malls? Not really. I mean,
well, actually, the Tacoma Mall was shot up here a few years back by a crazy person with I believe it was a Bushmaster.
Ooh, Bushmaster, that's a good gun. But I mean, does that mean everyone is like that? No. But again, there should be some sort of regulation to monitor people like that, to make sure that, hey, if you're not mentally sound, you don't get the lethal toy.
Well, in that thing though, getting people mental health care can actually be difficult, because I've been in a position where I've tried to get somebody mental health care, and they won't let you. They won't let a second person go, this person needs mental health care. They won't let you do it. The person who needs mental health care has to ask for it.
Yeah,
and a lot of times the person who needs mental health care is unaware that they need mental health care.
No, and
unwilling.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. There should be a change to that. I totally agree.
Well, see, they did that change for a reason, though. See, this is the other side of the coin, is once upon a time you used to be able to do that, and you would have husbands who wanted to get their wife out of the way, so they would take their wife in and have her committed to a mental institution so that they can go have playing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it didn't work, but, I mean, if there could be a way to make something like that work, because there are a couple people in my life that's like, dude, you need to get some serious fucking help. And, of course, unless they volunteer themselves or act in a way that is irrational, that gets that sort of attention, that gets them committed, then nothing's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, for sure, I agree with you, but there should be a way to fix that. Again, it's one of those things where this sort of thing is evolving. Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Ooh, easy now. Easy.
Oh man.
All right,
Hate
so
to
this
throw
has been
that word.
about a half the show. Well, let's chalk to something. We've done this already.
All right.
Let's
So
use that
that's my
evolving.
step.
Let's use that evolving as a segue into our favorite anti-evolutionist, Bible-thumping wingnut, and Tim. I believe you had something on
Yes.
that.
Okay, so I like Star Wars. So here live on the Awesome Crew Show, I'm going to make us some overpriced merchandise. I have my blank slate right here. I'm going to design a shirt right now for whatever contest. Someone will win this shirt. It should be pretty awesome. So I'm going to get to work. All right. So you guys can talk and hammer this out, but yeah, the asshole brigade decided to steal artwork designed by someone else to try to market for themselves in order to draw out this particular individual. To which they turned on and said, "Oh, well, we're just going to keep stealing from them." So let's see how they like it. So I'm going to get to work on my shirt.
Yeah.
So,
Live on air, we're making a shirt, which will be for sale. We'll be selling this shirt in the coming time after the show. Although, how much are we going to sell it for?
well, you know what? Here's what we should do. Let's turn this frown upside down. We do have this charity event coming up, right?
That's right. It's on the July 5th through 6th for Engineers Without Borders.
Oh, fuck me. Why don't we do this? Why don't... If anyone wants the shirt, whatever money we get, we can put towards that charity. How about that?
That's right.
That
I love it.
That reminds me, they did ask a question on the Facebook page that we have for the Awesome Crew Show. There will be a link in the description box. What kind of time slot we wanted.
You know what? I might potentially be working on July 5th. But I don't know. We'll see. And we can have a fun, race and charity event. It should be fun. I'm not a good drawer at all. So, anyways, let me see if I can do this here. So, I don't know. We can figure it out.
Okay, because it's on the Facebook page. Check out the inbox for the page.
All right, cool. So,
yeah.
Yes, Olav. Rhoda, you can ask questions.
Interesting enough, going back to the Bible thumping wingnut, and I have made the charge that Bible thumping wingnut is in this whole promoting Christianity stuff to glorify himself, to make himself famous, and to make money because religion is a business.
It is a business.
Yeah, his answer to this is he understands my charge, but honestly, Bob, this may never be true of me. I seek to lift up Christ, not myself. I regret that some may think otherwise. I do not seek to be nationally recognized, or any of this such. But when him and Lenny are stealing stuff to put on a shirt, which we've seen the shirts, they're actually doing this, and are selling the shirts for $100 a pop, that kind of gives rise to that statement.
So is that a legitimate thing? Are they really selling a fucking T-shirt with stolen artwork for $100, or was that just a ruse?
Well, they've certainly made a shirt with that artwork on it.
Yeah.
I have no reason to believe that they are not selling it. So
you know what? So we're going to put them to the test right now. They're probably going to pocket that money to use to proselytize their bullshit. So again, with this shirt, whatever someone wants to pay for it, it's on one of my old tank tops here, or the wife beater if you want to be politically incorrect.
Clean, for God's sake, man.
It's clean. I promise it's clean. So I'm sorry.
Beaten wife off it.
If this happens to fall into the hands of Mr. Audience Member, I will rub my balls on it for you. For an extra $20, as my ball cheese comes fresh, fermented.
Now that seems like a good opportunity to segue into who cunt of the week is. Is that okay if we do that?
No, that's great. Let's do
so
that.
A very quick cunt of the week here, real quick, because we've more or less talked about it. Now click on full screen. That's right. Look at this. It's cunt of the week, and it's these people. See, we've already mentioned them.
Oh fuck! Why does 419 look like he just finished on Bible thumping Wingnut's asshole? Look at that. That is an O face if I've ever seen an O face. Look at that. He's even biting his lip. His lip is quivering in that.
and,
Oh!
and Wingnut's got that grunt like, you use enough lube.
Yeah, like something's just been deposited and it didn't quite fit.
Yeah.
So why are these three cunts cunt of the week? It's a trifecta, a triple threat of cunt. Well, I mean, if I have to sit here and really explain to you why these three men are cunts, then you haven't been paying attention on YouTube for the last ever. Trolling, dishonesty, being a prick. I can count to potato memes. The thing they did where they fucking proselytized the Super Bowl, and now
Yeah.
this, taking someone else's intellectual property and trying to sell it for profit, which is kind of super fucking illegal, just so they can find out who this person is
Basically, doc hunting.
Yeah, this is doc hunting in its most primitive form, and then to sit there and gleefully say, "Let's find what else we can steal." Yeah, no, cram it up your ass, boys.
Now, here's the thing. They're going to turn around and ship the burden away and say, "Oh, well, what's wrong with stealing? According to your worldview, what's wrong with stealing?"
Yeah, I'll tell you what's wrong with stealing. It makes you look like a cunt. I really just don't have words enough. But just because we can't, you think we can't tell you what's wrong with it, that makes it okay for you to do it. Go get fucked. These guys are cunt of the week. There I said it.
Yay.
Okay. Well, can I go ahead and take that over into a really quick marijuana moment then?
Yeah.
Is it a marijuana minute or a marijuana moment?
Either way, you know what? We can shift back and forth because when it comes to marijuana, nothing's really stable down.
Everything is fluid.
Exactly. So anyways, a lot of people say when we talk about legalizing marijuana that it's going to increase teen use. Oh, you got to protect the children. Well, here's some real quick statistics. As reported in many different places over the last few weeks, teen marijuana use remains flat nationwide as more states legalize. In 2013, 23.4% of American high school-aged teens used marijuana one or more times in the 30 days before the survey. That's nearly even with 23.1% in 2011. So even though more states have medical marijuana legalized, Washington, Colorado has legalized recreational use for adults, it's not going to the children. It's staying flat. You're just belying the fact that legalization and more accessibility to marijuana is going to make more kids use drugs. It's just simply not happening.
So people are just not using, young people aren't using marijuana in any different sort of level than anyone else.
Not than
Just
anyone
because
else.
as a result of legalization.
Right. As a result of legalization, they're not using it in any greater numbers, which kind of gives toward the argument I've always made. Making marijuana legal isn't keeping it away from anyone. Because everybody who wants to use marijuana, for the most part, is. And legalization isn't changing that. It's just the people who are already using pot are still already using pot. The people who are likely to use pot are always going to be the ones likely to use pot. Legalization just makes them criminals, that's all.
Sure. I mean, well, marijuana seems like. I'll be honest, I smoked marijuana once, a couple times back when I was in my earlier 20s. I just kind of stopped, just not because it was like I didn't like it or whatever. It's just I don't know. I guess I would rather get drunk, like you know what I mean. It stopped being for me, like you know what I mean. Wasn't my cup of tea. But when it came down to it, I never saw anything particularly harmful or dangerous about it. It didn't change me in any sincere way. It didn't. It did dull my skill level when it came to just about anything. Like, so I mean, I wasn't going to operate heavy machinery afterwards, but it didn't make me more violent. I never got addicted to it. I'd love to hear someone come in here with the arguments as to why it needs to stay illegal.
Well, that certainly isn't going to come from me. I mean, granted, I used to smoke pot daily. You know, which, if anybody wants to say that smoking pot makes you stupid, you go ahead and argue that I'm an idiot. but I used to smoke. I used to smoke pot daily, and
Well, Bobby, the difference is there are bigger idiots.
well, okay, that's a fair point.
I love you, Bob.
That's a fair point. But when I got married in 2000, it was okay. I got a family, I got a kid to take care of, and if I run into the choice between buying a sack or buying diapers, diapers win. And so I quit pretty much like that. And of course, that, in my opinion, belies the point of addiction. I don't think the marijuana addiction, if it exists, is any stronger than addiction to caffeine. But since then, I'll get a little bit here and there. I mean, just the beginning of the month, I had a gram given to me. I didn't even pay for it, which was beautiful. But it's just it's not an issue. I don't think it should be criminalized. And of course, here in this state, it's not. And actually, the stores will open up here in about 2 weeks, where you can actually just go down to the pot store.
I am going to, because we're making people sad because we're ignoring the comment section.
Hey, just so you guys know, I'm almost done with the shirt.
He's almost done with the shirt. Get excited.
I'm almost done with the shirt. Get excited.
Get your dicks out for the shirt. All right, so 13 Heathens.
Oh man,
this is for you, partner, because we love you. 27 minutes ago says, I think they should decide who can have a gun partially based on their internet ID. If they run around calling themselves waiting for my 72 versions, they may not need a gun. If they
Absolutely agree.
If they call themselves God Warrior, maybe they shouldn't have a gun. Or for that matter, if they have some goofy immature online ID like Captain Awesemo 13, then there's a problem. Yes, indeed, folks, it is Troll Day. He then goes on to say, in Texas, they advise homeowners to kill the intruder because it frees them from potential lawsuits while I spit all over my laptop monitor. No, it doesn't say that. It frees them from potential lawsuits from the intruder. Then again, they also advise people to drag people they kill on their doorstep inside the house.
Yeah, see, no.
See, this is what I'm talking about. There's no responsibility. There's no accountability. Come on.
No, and you know what?
When the police are telling you to shoot to fucking kill, come on. We're not able for this, guys.
See, again, if I were in that situation, I wouldn't shoot to kill unless they come in with, huge artillery weapons or whatever, or some sort of weapon themselves. Then, again, I'm not intending to shoot to kill. I'm intending to shoot to defend. And, yeah, absolutely, that isn't warranted. You shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be encouraging people to kill, but rather to defend.
Well, this is the state of the country we live in.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you with.
I have to take care of something real quick. I'll be back in half a second, minute.
Right.
That's okay.
Hurry up, because I'm almost done with this shirt.
I'll sit here and amuse the people with my dancing.
Lenny, you got to let me know.
I'm sorry I did that.
Are you human or are you dancer?
I am both. I have too much fucking shame now. I'm turning off my camera.
Okay.
I'm turning it off.
I'm almost done with this shirt.
Oh dear. We should turn the Q&A on one of these days.
Yeah, we should. I'll get around to that.
We'll turn on the Q&A so people can be sort of involved.
Why do we want people to be involved?
Because that's why people watch the show.
Oh, I thought they watch it because...
Open, customizable show.
All right, so I am officially done with this shirt.
Right, let's have a look.
All right, wait for Bobby to come back.
Is that a hickey on your neck?
Where?
Well, I can't point. There.
Oh.
No. Oh.
See, is it? Hold on, I gotta go check that. Damn.
When he goes around that corner, I imagine he goes into a TARDIS. And goes and saves the universe.
Actually, you know what? It isn't. That's where I cut myself shaving really bad yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't a very smart thing to do.
I know.
I wouldn't have done that.
I know. I'm not like you, Lenny.
You're not. You're not. Keep trying, though.
All right, you know what? Here, let me put the finishing touch on this. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great shirt, which we will sell for $200.
Just, just to one up the fucking wingnut cunts.
Yeah.
Cunt, 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 cunt.
Well, remember, we're not moral absolutists, so we're just based off opinion right now. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
Because our opinions don't matter or anything.
Ooh, an excellent question from the fucking Skype. 13 Heathens wants to know, Captain Osimo, if
Yeah.
you aren't able to wield a razor correctly, how can you use a gun? Boom. Drops mic on stage. Refuted. You've been refuted.
I've been refuted. The razor was actually dull, and I was out of shaving cream, so I had to use soap. And if you've ever used soap,
What happens if the gun is dull and you're out of shaving cream, so you have to use soap? What then? How do you shoot the hairs off your face then?
Easily.
Easily.
Oh, and I'm almost done. This is going to be a fantastic shirt. I love it.
Live on the air, we're making a shirt for you people.
Oh, yeah. You know what? This could be a thing. I sort of like this.
Hurry the fuck on. You're boring the shit out of me.
I can see why G-Man loves making those stupid hats, which we did have that competition a couple weeks ago with the G-Man thing. Still haven't picked a winner on that yet because they're all so good. But hopefully by the time our live event goes with the charity thing, I'll have it ready.
Yeah.
Fabric paints are fun to work with.
Yeah. All right, almost done. And we should totally make money off of this. I really think we should.
And then give it to charity. Give it to Engineers Without Borders because we're doing the charity event, which we're super fucking excited about.
Okay.
Totally with logic.
The shirt is done. All right. Are we ready for this awesome shirt?
Let's see it.
Okay. Because I like Star Wars. So, here is my Star Wars theme Awesome Crew shirt.
Let's
hold it up. Ah.
Tim heard it here. You did. You heard it here first, Tim. You're a cunt.
So this shirt will be on sale for, I don't know. We should just... I'm happy to get a nickel for this thing. Look, there's a great little Yoda on there. Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Absolutely. Now, all of that script will probably wash out.
No, that's fine. That just means that whoever buys it doesn't have to wash it.
That's
just
true.
Frame it somewhere. Put it up in their house. So here live, the first ever shirt design.
It's very good drawing.
Yeah, very impromptu. I'm glad I sacrificed a shirt for this. So Tim, says Yoda. Tim, heard it here you did. Yes, you are a cunt. Oh, man.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Don't forget the Naked After Show will be going live almost directly after this show, in which we're going to bring you guys in, and you guys get to talk to your favorite internet celebrities. How exciting is that? I know I have an erection.
That is great. Yeah, so what do you guys think of the shirt?
I love it. I love it. We should totally hawk that thing off for profit, and then give that profit to
we totally
Engineers
should.
Without Borders.
You know what? Should I? No, it's already too late now. But anyways, he heard it here. He's a cunt.
You too, Len.
But we all know that Len doesn't really much care for cunt, does he?
No, he doesn't.
No, I think.
He's a fan of something else. We're not going to say what else.
No.
We'll let you decide.
Yeah. You know what?
But seriously, no, it's penis.
I guarantee you the two of them have penetrated each other at one point or at some point.
Yes, there were some lonely, cold nights when they were street preaching at the Super Bowl. I'm sure they had some secret moments. I can't quit you, Tim.
Oh man, bleh.
And you know that Bible thumping wingnut's going to be the Jake Gyllenhaal in that relationship. By which I mean the taker.
I thought 419 seemed more like the taker. He seems like he's a catcher.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's it for the broadcast. We've gone on for about an hour-ish, so...
We've done an hour. You've had enough.
We've had enough of you people, so go follow Lenny to the Naked After Show. Should I take a picture of this and, I don't know, post it all over?
Yeah, post it, put it on the Awesome Crew Show website, let people know that we've got it, and it could be yours. Just try not to wash it.
Yeah, just don't wash it because it's permanent marker, and whatever sort of marker this is... Super tips from Crayola.
Probably not permanent.
Yeah, that's probably not permanent, so just be careful with washing it. I will include washing instructions with it, which will just be a post note saying don't wash. So yeah, I think that's a good stopping point, boys. It's been fun. We'll try to have something more substantial next week, as we always do. And we need more intros, damn it.
Yeah, make us intros because you fucking love us.
Yeah.
And Cliff, we need your intro back because we really wanted to play it today. We couldn't fucking find it.
So once again, this episode of the Awesome Crew Show is brought to you in part by Meteos, now with extra Canadian. Meteos, it's a fist in your mouth.
Now with more fist.
Alrighty, boys and girls. We will see you for the Naked After Show.